Breaking news here on Sky News. The Chinese spy balloon, which has been spotted over the United States over the past couple of days, has in the past few minutes been brought down. Supposition is it has been shot down after an order from President Biden himself. You'll recall just after a couple of hours ago that President Biden has said he would take care of this suspected spy balloon, which is reported to have been conducting surveillance on the US military. And it seems that certainly has happened. We know that airspace was closed around 100 square miles off the Carolinas. A number of flights stopped following an order in the past hour or so, and that will prove where the balloon had been heading. It was over North Carolina.
The force is strong.
The Associated Press, we're checking Twitter on several different official. Oh, I believe it just happened there. That was it. Live, raw, and unfiltered. It appears that China spy balloon has now been shot down over the Atlantic Ocean. You are taking a live look here, live, raw, and unfiltered, as that balloon appears to be heading downward after it has been shot down.
Welcome back to Saturday Agenda. We've been reporting on the Chinese spy balloon that's been hovering across the United States. Earlier this afternoon, making its way over North Carolina, over a military base. There was a lot of discussion about whether the United States was going to shoot down the balloon, taking a number of safety precautions into account. We can now report to you that the balloon has been shot down. We're trying to get more details on this, but John, you were again speaking to a lot of security experts on this. We were talking to Rick Grinnell earlier about this, about how dangerous this is and how the Biden administration's been handling it.
That's right. The Biden administration saying today that they would take care of it. Of course, this was their plan now, was to shoot down this balloon, suspected spy balloon, over the Atlantic Ocean. The FAA did tweet out just a few moments ago that they were working with some of the airports over that area, which was Wilmington, Myrtle Beach, Charleston. They grounded the flights there so they could carry out this plan to bring down this suspected spy balloon. What we do know is that that balloon has been over the continental U.S. for a number of days. It's been monitored by the U.S. Defense Department, and they've been watching to make we know that it's been over some very highly sensitive areas where we have weapons from the military. So this was of utmost importance to address the situation. There was a lot of questions whether or not they would bring down this balloon, in that it was over land, and if they did shoot it down, that surveillance equipment that's underneath it is the size of 3 city buses. So if you shoot down that over mainland USA, what happens to that debris? Does it injure anybody? So it appears that the Department of Defense waited till this was in a position where it would not have any casualties, that there wouldn't be any destruction, if they could take down this
and to your point, John, there is an operation right now that's underway, again, in U.S. territorial waters to remove or recover, rather, the debris that we have seen from this balloon, which had been flying about 60,000 feet, estimated, again, to be about the size of 3 school buses. And I guess before downing this, we can also report that President Joe Biden had said earlier on Saturday, we're going to take care of it. So certainly we were expecting action from the administration, the Federal Aviation Administration and the Coast Guard right now. They're working. They're all part of this operation to not only clear the airspace, but from the water below. And again, this is breaking news. The balloon that we have been following for more than 24 hours now, the Biden administration has decided to shoot this down.
That's right. And China had called this balloon, they said that this had taken a wrong course, that it was a civilian airship for research that deviated off course. Many don't believe that. We're going to find out, I imagine, with what type of surveillance they were taking of the United States. The question now is, recovery of that debris. We know the operation has taken course here, that they have taken down this balloon. Now it'll be recovering the elements and that surveillance array that we see there, the cameras, the sensors, and then going through that to see what exactly the Chinese were trying to capture while it was over mainland USA.
And this was such a big incident, John, as we've been reporting this entire time, that it prompted U.S. Secretary of State Tony Blinken to cancel his trip to China. So this is going to be a major flashpoint in tensions between Washington and Beijing. And interesting to note, too, there was the reports of a second balloon that was flying over Costa Rica.
And we don't know what the plan is going forward with that. But the question was this an act of war? Because it was at the altitude that it was at. It wasn't technically in the U.S.'s airspace. So now that it's off of the U.S. mainland and it's over the ocean, is this now an act of war? Or what happens now between, as you mentioned, the tensions between China and U.S.? But it'll be very interesting to see how this what happens going forward with this and the recovery of that balloon there.
And certainly anticipating this response from China on this. We do not know what China's response will be to this, but again, this is an aircraft that is flying over U.S. airspace. China's foreign ministry actually did not immediately respond to questions about the second balloon, so we're going to have to get a second response on here.
This is how legends are born.